we will learn English through the real story of Jack Ma, a man who failed many exams, who heard no again and again, and who started as a simple English learner just like you. His life shows that rejection is not the end, and that practice and courage can slowly change everything. We will tell his story in slow, simple English, with short sentences and familiar words, so you can listen, understand more and more, and shadow the voice step by step without fear. Welcome to English 1314, a warm place where you can learn English with real-life stories instead of only dry grammar books. In this episode, we will talk about Jack Ma, a famous businessman from China. But we will not talk about business in a difficult way. We will focus on his life journey in clear and easy English, made for two learners who still feel shy and unsure. Our goal is to help you listen, enjoy, and grow, not to give you a test. First, we will look at his childhood in Hangzhou, his normal family, and how he began to love English even when his school scores were low. Then we will tell the story of how he became an English teacher, how he saw the internet for the first time, and how he and his friends started Alibaba in a small apartment to help small businesses sell their products online. After that, we will see how Alibaba grew, how Jack Ma became known around the world, and how he later spent more time on education, young entrepreneurs, and charity projects. At the end, we will take some simple lessons from his story, and we will turn them into short English sentences that you can use in your own life. You can listen to this story many times. On the first listen, you can just relax and follow the meaning. On the second or third listen, you can try shadowing, which means you repeat the words at the same time as the speaker, like a soft echo. This way, your ear, your tongue, and your brain will all practice together, and English will slowly feel less scary and more friendly. You do not have to understand 100% of every line to improve. Even if you only understand 60 or 70% now, your brain is still learning from the sound, the order of words, and the repeated phrases. You can turn on English subtitles if they are available and read while you listen. Or you can listen once with your eyes closed and once with your eyes on the words. You can choose the way that feels best for you today, and you can change it later when your level grows. The most important thing is that you stay gentle with yourself, you keep coming back, and you enjoy the feeling that you are slowly opening a new window in your life. Jack Ma was born in the city of Hangzhou in China. Hangzhou is known for its lake, its old streets, and its long history. But Jack's family was very normal. They were not rich, and they did not have powerful friends. As a child, Jack was small and thin, and in school he was not a top student. He failed important exams more than once, including entrance exams for middle school and for university. Many times his scores were low, and teachers did not see him as a star. When other children got good marks and praise, he often got red marks and had to try again. It would have been easy for him to give up and say, "I am just not smart." But inside, he felt curious and wanted to understand the world outside his city. When he heard English for the first time, it sounded strange and difficult, but it also sounded like a key to another world. In the 1970s and 80s, there was no internet, no online courses, and no easy way to meet foreigners for most people in China. But Jack lived in a city that had tourists, especially near West Lake, a beautiful lake that many visitors love. So, as a teenager, he made a brave decision. He decided to learn English by talking to tourists in real life. Every morning, he woke up very early, even before sunrise, and rode his bicycle to hotels and tourist spots near the lake. He waited there for foreign visitors. When he saw them, he smiled and said hello in simple English. He offered to show them around the city as a free guide. He did not ask for money. He wanted something more important for his future. He wanted practice. As he walked with tourists, he asked them easy questions, listened carefully, and tried to repeat their sentences. Sometimes he did not understand. Sometimes he said the words in a strange way, and sometimes he felt shy. But he kept going. Day after day, he walked, talked, and listened. Through these talks, his English slowly became better. His ears learned the music of the language, and his mouth became less afraid to move. One foreign visitor gave him an English name, Jack, because his Chinese name was hard for them to say. From then on, he kept this name, and it became part of his identity. In this way, English opened a door to a new world for him. It helped him see that there were many different ways to live, to think, and to do business. At the same time, Jack faced many rejections. After school, he applied for many jobs, but companies often said no. He tells a famous story about applying to work at a fast food restaurant. When a KFC store opened in his city, 24 people applied. 23 people were accepted, and he was the only person rejected. He also applied to the police, and they said no. He applied to other places and heard the same answer again and again. Rejection hurts, especially when it happens many times. But Jack decided that these no answers were not the end. He looked for another way. He continued to practice English, to talk to people, and to observe the changes in his city. This mix of low exam scores, many job rejections, and strong practice with real people shaped his character. It taught him that failure does not kill you. It also taught him that language and communication can give you a kind of power that test scores cannot show. After some time, Jack Ma became an English teacher at a local college. His salary was not high, but he enjoyed the work. He loved standing in front of a class, telling stories in English, and helping his students see that the world was bigger than their city. He used simple jokes and real examples in his lessons, and many students remember him as an energetic and lively teacher. Teaching also gave him more practice with English because he used it every day. At this point, he was not a businessman. He did not have business training, and he was not a technology expert, but he was curious and brave. In the 1990s, Jack had a chance to travel outside China to places like the United States. During one of these trips, friends showed him a new thing called the Internet. They sat in front of a computer and opened a web browser. They typed words into a search engine. When Jack asked them to search for the word China, almost no results came up. He was surprised. He thought, the World Wide Web is huge, but there is almost nothing about my country here. This moment planted a seed in his mind. He saw a problem and at the same time a chance. He thought that maybe the internet could help Chinese businesses show their products to the world. After returning home, Jack started his first internet-related project, sometimes known as China Pages. The idea was to help local companies build simple web pages so that foreign buyers could find them. However, this early project faced many problems. Many people did not understand the internet yet. They did not trust that a screen and a cable could help them sell goods. There was not much money, and there was a lot of doubt. The project did not become a big success. For many people, such a result would be another sign to stop. But Jack again treated this as a lesson, not the final word. He learned how hard it is to explain new ideas to people. He learned that timing and trust are very important. After these early failures, he did not return to a quiet, safe life. Instead, he took another step. He invited a small group of friends and former students to his apartment. They sat on the floor and around a simple table, and he spoke to them about a new vision. He explained that the internet could be a big marketplace, a place where small and medium-sized companies in China could meet buyers, both inside the country and in other countries. He wanted to build a platform that did not sell its own products, but instead helped other people sell. This new project became Alibaba. The name comes from a famous story, and Jack liked it because people around the world can say it easily and remember it. The early days of Alibaba were not glamorous. There was little money, many simple desks, and a lot of work. The team had to design the website, talk to small business owners, and explain again and again what the internet could do for them. They had to build trust in a world where online trade was something strange and new. Jack and his team also had to talk to investors, people with money who might support the company. Many investors said no. They looked at Jack, a former English teacher with no strong technology background, and they did not believe he could build a big internet company. But Jack and his team stayed focused. They worked for many years, step by step. Alibaba slowly grew as more small companies joined, posted their products, and started to receive orders and messages from buyers. In simple terms, Alibaba became a bridge. It was a digital place where sellers and buyers could find each other. For small business owners who did not know how to build their own websites, Alibaba was like an open door. Jack often said that his dream was to help small businesses, not to become a big boss for himself. Whether every detail of this dream was perfect or not, this idea helped guide the company. Step by step, Alibaba expanded and created more services, but at its heart, it kept the idea of connection and support for small players. Jack Ma moved from being a teacher in a classroom to being a leader on a business stage. But he still used stories, simple language, and humor to explain his vision to employees, customers, and partners. Over time, Alibaba grew from a small team in one apartment into a large group of companies with thousands of workers. Its platforms connected buyers and sellers across many cities and countries. More and more people used Alibaba websites to find suppliers, order goods, and run their own shops online. As the company grew, Jack Ma became one of the most well-known business figures in China and around the world. He spoke at many events, often in English, and shared stories about his failures, his rejections, and his belief that young people should not give up. People liked his open style and his jokes. On stage, he did not talk like a traditional, very serious boss. He talked like a storyteller who wanted to encourage his audience. A big moment in Alibaba's story was when the company sold shares on a stock exchange outside China. This sale of shares, which is called a listing, brought in a lot of money for the company and made international news. For many observers, it was a symbol that the internet dream of a former English teacher had become a global business reality. In this story, we do not need to focus on the numbers. The important point is the change in scale from small to very large. As Alibaba became more complex, Jack Ma's role also changed. After many years as the public face and main leader of the company, he started to step back from daily management. He passed many of the day-to-day decisions to other leaders and began to spend more time on other interests, such as education, philanthropy, and support for young entrepreneurs and teachers. He spoke about the importance of giving back, which means using your experience and resources to help others after you reach a certain level of success. He visited schools, talked with students and teachers, and supported programs that aimed to improve education and creativity. Through his foundation and other projects, he tried to share not only money but also ideas about courage, resilience, and long-term thinking. Of course, like many large companies and visible leaders, Alibaba and Jack Ma also faced challenges, changes in rules, and public discussions. In this English lesson, we do not go into those complex topics. We stay at a simple and neutral level. We focus on the human side of the story, especially the journey from repeated no to wider impact. The key idea for us is that Jack Ma's path was not straight. It was full of exams failed, jobs lost, projects that did not work, and long years of hard work before big success. Later, when he had more comfort and fame, he tried to use part of his time to help other people start their own journeys. This does not mean that his story is perfect. No human story is perfect, but it gives us a clear example of how one person can move from a small, local life to a global stage by using curiosity, practice, and persistence, and how that person can then turn around and offer support to others. Jack Ma's story is full of simple lessons that you can use in your own life and in your English journey. The first lesson is never give up. As a child and a young man, he failed many exams and he was rejected from many jobs. Many people would stop after so many no answers, but he did not. You can take this idea and turn it into a short sentence for yourself. You can say, I never give up. I try again and again. When you feel tired or embarrassed after a mistake in English, you can repeat this line softly and then try one more time. The second lesson is that rejection is normal. Jack Ma often says that rejection is part of life. When KFC did not hire him, when other companies said no, he felt bad, but he did not let rejection define his future. For your English, this means that if someone does not understand you, or if they answer you in a cold way, it does not mean you should stay silent forever. You can tell yourself, Rejection is part of life. They say no, but I keep going. These sentences remind you that your value is not decided by one test, one teacher, or one stranger. The third lesson is learning through practice. Jack Ma did not learn English from expensive courses. He learned by waking up early, meeting tourists, and using the language in real situations. He learned by doing, making mistakes, laughing, and trying again the next day. You can do something similar at your own level. You may not live near tourists, but you can still practice a little every day. You can listen to a short story, repeat sentences out loud, or write a simple comment. You can say, I learn by doing. I practice my English every day. Even 5 or 10 minutes of practice is useful if you do it many times over many weeks. The fourth lesson is seeing chance in problems. When Jack saw that the internet had almost no information about China, it was a problem, but he also saw an opportunity. He did not only complain, he asked, what can we build here? For you, a difficult situation in English can also hide a chance. If you cannot understand a fast video, it is a chance to find slower materials that match your level. If you are afraid to speak, it is a chance to start small. Maybe with a recording on your phone or a comment online. You can say, I see chances where others see problems. This sentence helps you look for solutions instead of stopping at the first difficulty. The fifth lesson is helping small people. Jack Ma often talks about supporting small businesses and normal people. In your own life, you may not run a company, but you can still help others. You can share a good learning video with a friend, encourage a classmate who feels shy, or answer a simple question from another learner. You can say, I want to help small businesses, or I want to help other people grow, and then look for one tiny action that matches these words. When you help someone else, you often feel stronger too. The sixth lesson is believing in yourself. Jack Ma's past was full of low scores and rejections, but he decided that his past would not be his limit. He chose to believe that he could still grow, still learn, and still build something new. You can do the same with English. Maybe you think, I am too old, or my level is too low, or I failed before. But you can answer these thoughts with a new sentence. You can say, my past is not my limit. I believe in myself. When you repeat these words and then take a small action, like listening to one more story or writing one more sentence, you are walking in a new direction. All of these lesson sentences are short on purpose. They are easy to remember and easy to speak. You can choose one or two that you like the most, write them on a piece of paper or in your phone, and say them out loud every day. In this way, Jack Ma's story becomes more than a story about business. It becomes a toolbox of simple English lines that protect and guide you on your own journey. If you like, you can also record yourself saying these lesson sentences on your phone. You can listen to your own voice and notice that, step by step, your sound is becoming clearer and more confident. When you do this many times, Jack Ma's ideas and these English sentences will both live inside you and give you strength when you face new challenges. Now it is your turn to use this story as real practice for your English. First, choose one small part of this video, maybe 4 to 6 sentences that you like from the childhood part, the Alibaba part, or the life lessons part. Play that part again and again. Listen carefully to the rhythm, the pauses, and the way the words connect. Then try to shadow the voice, which means you speak at the same time as the speaker, like an echo that follows a mountain shout. At the beginning, you may feel slow, your tongue may feel heavy, and you may miss some words, but that is okay. If you repeat the same lines many times, your mouth will slowly remember the shapes of the sounds, and your ear will catch more details. Do not wait until you feel ready. Use this story as your safe practice space. Second, write one simple sentence in English in the comments. You can answer a question like, "What lesson do you learn from Jack Ma's story?" Your sentence does not need to be perfect. It can be something like, "I never give up," or "Rejection is part of life," or "I practice my English every day." When you write and post your sentence, you turn an idea into real action, and you also encourage other learners who read your words. If you see other comments, you can reply with one kind line, such as, "Good job, keep going," so we all feel supported. Third, if this way of learning feels good for you, subscribe to English 1314 and continue with the next videos in this series about famous people. You can make a small plan for yourself, like listening to one story every day for a week, or listening to this Jack Ma story 3 times this week, and shadowing your favorite part each day. You can also keep a simple notebook or a note on your phone. After each video, write the date and one English sentence that you want to keep. Maybe a lesson line or a phrase from the story. After some weeks, you will have your own collection of English sentences that feel real and personal to you. On days when you feel low or hopeless, you can open this list, read the sentences out loud, and remember that you have already taken many steps. Learning a language is like building a long road. You do not lay all the stones in one day. You place one small stone at a time. Today, by listening to this story, you have placed another stone. When this video ends, take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and say to yourself, "I practiced today, and that is a success." Then, when you are ready, take the next small step and continue your English journey with patience, courage, and a hopeful heart. You can listen while you sit on a bus, walk in the park, wash the dishes, or rest in your room. In this way, English does not have to be a heavy subject at a desk. It can become a light part of your normal day, like music or a friendly radio show that travels with you.